Extra Time is brought to you by Globant. Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. We have your questions for you. We have Shaka Hislop, we have Stuart Robson, Ali Moreno, and Stevie Nicol as well. My name's Kay Murray. First question is...
I have one question.
Okay.
Hashtag FC Extra Time. Does Shaka not have any other polos, or he has multiples of the same one?
Shaka?
I've got 3 of these. I've got 3 of these polos, all the same color. I don't know. I'll produce a bulk or something.
Shaka, do you do laundry yourself, or do you just give it to the room service to do?
It's Shaka.
Do you mean generally in life, or just...
Oh, no. No, when you're away. Oh, listen,
I only got here yesterday,
home,
Steve.
I know you're in the basement doing the laundry.
I only got here yesterday, Stevie. I only got here yesterday.
Hang on. Shaka has a studio named after him. As soon as he arrived, he got a ticket given straight to him. It was Alexis Nunez's ticket given to him to that Spain-Morocco game. You telling me this is a man who does his own laundry?
And don't forget, it's a studio that includes a ladder. That's good.
It's a studio that includes a ladder. All right, Stevie, was yesterday the day that Ronaldo understood his best days are behind him?
Well, I hope so. It would appear that is the case. He's actually behaving the way he should have done at Man United. But it's early days, because we didn't expect the tornado that appeared a couple of weeks after he got dropped at United. I don't expect that to happen with Portugal. Now, if he did that with Portugal, you're talking about a guy whose legacy would be affected, because this guy's a god in Portugal. If he was to criticise anything to do with the Portuguese national team, then that definitely would affect his legacy. So I don't see that happening, and I think the answer to the question is absolutely. He has just accepted that he is no longer Bertie Big Spuds.
Betty Big Spuds, eh?
Yeah.
Robbo, with 8 teams left, what is your dream final?
The dream final, I think, would be Portugal against Brazil, as I think Stevie said would be the final. I think Portugal now look a top side in that last game against Switzerland. They played some outstanding football, particularly when the game became open. They've got players that can pick out passes. They've got a couple of midfield players that do the holding job really well. Both fullbacks like to get forward, so they're a side that are beginning to develop a really good creativity side to their game. And of course, Brazil, with all their star players, if they all play at their very best. You know, we don't always see Rafinha play at his best for Barcelona. He's inconsistent. Richarlison doesn't always get in the Tottenham side. Vinicius Jr. has been outstanding over the last couple of years. And Neymar, you're never quite sure what you're going to get. But that would be a great final, I think.
Ale, who's been the most important player to their team in the World Cup, and which individual performance has been the best so far?
We've talked about Messi, how important he has been to Argentina. We've talked about Mbappe, obviously, and how important he has been to France. Variol for Croatia. He has been outstanding as a center back. We don't usually give love to defenders in this show. Let's give some love to him. And there's been a lot of important performances. And in terms of a team, what we have seen from Morocco and how they work for each other defensively, and how much they are willing to sacrifice for each other defensively. That's not easy to do. So I would highlight that as well. But in terms of individual performance, I would say those 3 that I just mentioned.
All right. If Mbappe wins 2 back-to-back World Cups with potentially being the best player in both tournaments, does this officially put him on the same pedestal as the greatest players to have ever played the game? Shaka is the man to answer this one, as he is the man who has all the talk when it comes to the GOATs.
Why you come to me? Why? I don't understand why you keep doing this to me, Kay.
We like to see what you have to say on special documentaries about these top-level players.
Wow.
Wait, how we get there?
How
we get there, I do not know. No, I'm going to answer this before Kay digs any deeper. I'm not sure where she's going with that last question. Yes, if France wins this and Mbappe continues to be as important as he has been so far for France, yes, he has to be in that discussion long term. He's still only 23, so there's still a lot more for his body of work to develop and to compare with some of those greats. But yes, he has to be on the radar. Let's leave it there, and please don't ask any more about documentaries or anything of the sort, Kay.
Oh, well, let me ask you this then. What if he does win the World Cup again, but he doesn't win the Champions League?
Oh, here we go.
Ask me about the documentary or something, Kay. let's just go back to the documentaries.
Yeah.
Dr. Hislop. Oh, it's another question for you, Shaka.
Oh, here we go.
Ooh.
Dr. Hislop, if you had to face one of your co-panelists in a World Cup shootout, as Dan says, a winner-take-all match, who would you least want to face? Prime Robbo, Prime Ale, or Prime Stevie?
Oh, who would I least want to face? But given Stevie's records and penalties, I'd want to face Stevie most. Give him some of the show today. I'd want to race against Stevie the least because apparently he was really rapid.
Rapid.
Least, I'm going to go Ali because I have to sit in the studio with Ali, and Robbo is off somewhere, tanning himself, so I don't have to live up to explaining anything to Robbo.
Don't usually speak in the third person, but Prime Ali has scored on Shaka history. I'm just saying.
Robbo, is he underestimating Prime Robbo?
Not until when it comes to penalties, he's not, because I never took one, and I didn't want to take one either. I made goalkeepers look magnificent. A lot of goalkeepers made their best ever saves against me because I struck it quite nicely, but I was too predictable apparently, and goalkeepers always made great saves. That was the story of my life, really.
I actually missed a penalty in my testimonial. And a testimonial. so I'll tell you how it happened as well. So a guy called Eric Nixon was in goals for the opposing team. Now Eric used to play for Tranmere. He was at Everton for a spell. And so when the penalty happened, and it wasn't even a penalty because as in testimonials, they always want to get a penalty for whoever it is to take the penalty and score.
Right.
So we get a penalty in front of the cop, and I've got the ball in my hand, I'm walking towards the penalty spot, and I'm looking at Eric to try and tell Eric I'm doing this, to try and tell him where I'm going. So I stopped doing that, and then I see Eric doing this with his hands, putting his hands out to say basically, where are you going? But by this time the referee's going, well, are you going to take this penalty or what? So I'm trying to tell Eric again, I'm doing this with my head. And I don't know whether Eric thinks I've got a twitch or something, or there's something wrong with me. And as I'm running up to it, I'm waiting for him moving, and he's standing looking at me. And he sort of moved to go that way, so I thought he must be going that way, and I played it that way, and then he went that way, and then it hit the post, ran along the line, and then came out. Seriously.
I think you made the right decision, Shaka.
Testimonial.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought the referee should let it take it over, Stevie, surely.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but we'll probably end up digging through the same room all again. Probably better left.
Shaka would have never done that to you.
Did you tell Eddie, hey, I was giving you this?
Well, of course I did. After the game, I went, I was trying to tell you, and he went, I was trying to tell you.
I got it. Like, is it like when you're watching Mbappe?
Yeah.
Right. The next one says Stevie, and it's just a photo.
Oh, what's a photo?
What is it?
I don't know.
Are they going to show us a
Wait
picture?
and see.
Oh, the drama is killing me. What's a picture?
What?
What are we waiting for?
What were we waiting for?
I know what we're waiting
hold
for.
on. You see, here's the thing, right? You can't see the trampoline for the question. See it?
What?
That would be,
Well, I'm going to guess that's Martinez.
yeah, Martinez jumping very, very high,
Well,
which means his height does not matter.
The problem is the
Stevie.
guy he's playing against is on his way down.
He mistimed the jump.
Seriously?
Mistimed the jump.
Seriously.
You never admit it.
See the way she looked at you?
just
She was
won't
very
admit it.
disappointed with you.
No,
Never.
She's trying to take over from Dan being the smarty pants. I'll tell you what I'll do with you, right? Next time, when are you on again? Tomorrow?
No.
Right, next time you're on, I'll go and find you a picture of the opposite way around, where he's getting beat.
Robbo.
And then I'll go like that. Nah, 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 nah. Just because, we want a header.
Stevie thinks Martinez is too small for the Premier League, Robbo.
Robbo.
Well, I'm not a Martinez fan. I think he's a decent player, but he's not a great player. Otamendi's playing in the Argentinian side in front of him, and Otamendi, at the moment, I don't think can run and can't defend in 1v1 situations. Martinez has done OK for Manchester United. He's not the great player people are telling him. It's not just his height. I don't think he's particularly quick either.
I gotta say, that picture...
So, I'm sorry. Come on, what are you going to say to that now? So wait a minute. We've got Robbo, you got me, you got Frank, who've all said the same thing. Have you anything to... Now that we're back in court, have you anything to
Oh, sorry,
defend yourself?
so you and Robbo are the voices of reason of all football.
Well, I'm afraid you've got...
And Frank.
You've got three players, Frank, me and Robbo, who between us have got about 1,400 league games, have all said the same thing. And you and Dan, I try to turn around and say, oh, look at this, he won a header. Oh, clever boy, well done.
And
maybe Ten Hag will learn something.
if we can cross-examine that picture, I can actually make the argument that McLaren has already won the header, and Lisandro Martinez is actually on his way up. I'm serious. Yeah. I'm serious. I'm not even joking here. McLaren may have won the header already, and Martinez is coming late to the challenge in that header.
That's usually remember Spot the Ball.
Yeah, I do.
So I don't know. In the UK, in the newspaper every Sunday, there was a picture like that, and it was called Spot the Ball. And what you did was you had to make a mark and send it in and try and win the money to where the ball was.
Right.
And of course, the ball was taken away.
Right.
So you had to kid on where the ball was.
Right.
And of course, whenever the following week, the ball was away over in the corners. The ball was away over there somewhere.
Yeah.
Nobody ever won it.
Yeah, nobody ever won it.
Nobody ever won it.
All right, yesterday, Craig mentioned that Craig Brown told the Scotland team that Hearts had turned down Bebeto 6 months before the World Cup, and he used this as a motivation tactic as well. So, what's the craziest thing a manager ever told you? Or in Stevie's case, what's the craziest thing you ever told your team?
No. I'll tell you what, we had a manager called Andy Roxburgh. And it was a qualifying game against France for the 1990 World Cup. And we were playing them in Paris, qualifier, and he comes in before the game with their team sheet. And number 9 or number 10 is Eric Cantona. Now at this stage, I'm not sure, I think Eric was still at Leeds. And Andy Rox has come in and did the same thing as Craig Brown's done there. He's gone to everybody and went, this guy up front, Eric Cantona, he said he's a poor man's Joe Jordan. Who? That's what he said. No, Joe Jordan was an old-fashioned Scottish striker. Fantastic in the air, held the ball up. You know, pretty much did everything that Eric didn't do.
Until he did the same one.
And he said that he was a poor man's Joe Jordan, and that was Eric Cantona, who 12 months later was arguably the best player in world football. Scary.
What about you, Robbo? What's the craziest thing a manager ever told you?
I wouldn't say it was the craziest thing, but getting something wrong. We had early on in my career, we were playing Dynamo Moscow. No, what were they called? Spartak Moscow at the time. And Wilf Dixon, the head coach and chief scout, went along to watch them play. And he came back and said, he went through every player and he said, he's pedantic, he can't run, he can't do this, he can't do that. They're poor, they're rubbish. They thrashed us 7-2 over 2 legs, and half their team were the Russian national team, or the USSR at the time, who were great players. Desaev was in goal for them. They were magnificent, and he told it every one of their players was rubbish and couldn't play. So that wasn't the best.
Did Craig tell you the other one that Craig Brown said against Brazil?
This is the one, right?
No. On top of that, so what happened was they left the dressing room, So Scotland are walking out, you know, you got Craig with his teeth out, you know, you got half the team with the socks down, half the team with the shorts pulled away up there, half the team got blonde hair, like dyed blonde hair, like, and of course they're coming out and they're playing against the Ronaldo, all that team, they're immaculate, they're holding hands like this, they're walking out with this, and Mr. Brown's going past all the Scotland players going, look at them. Look at them. They're absolutely scared stiff of you. What? They're scared stiff of us. Yeah, right.
Shaka, have you got any stories like this?
Yeah, so I love Harry Redknapp. Let me just say that off the top. Incredible manager. But you knew every single one of Harry's pre-game team talks. He would always come in looking at the other team's team sheet and go, I wouldn't have one of them in this team. Not one. Playing at Pompey, just get promoted. We played against Manchester United. I mean, this is when, you know, Man U had Van Nistelrooy and Keane. And, I mean, Harry comes in, he goes, I wouldn't have one of these. I wouldn't have 5 or 6 of these in this team. And Paul Merson just says, behave yourself, gaffer. And Harry, and the whole dressing room just breaks down laughing. Even Harry, he just goes, yeah, you're right. Good luck, lads. All the best out there. and that was it. That was it.
Well, there's been a few over the years, but in Copa America 2011, we began the tournament against Brazil. And it's Brazil when Neymar was just coming out and becoming the player that he now is. And at that point, he had sort of this kind of, the hair just kind of standing up sort of thing. He had like a mohawk, faux hawk sort of thing going on. And our manager at the time was making fun of Neymar in the pre-game preparation, in the pre-game speech, and say, this guy's just a YouTube star. This guy's this guy's that. And I'm saying, I'm thinking to myself, like, I understand what he's trying to do, but do you really think that people in this locker room are not able to see past this, to see through this? Because the moment that you get out on the field and you start seeing Neymar running circles around people, it's like, well, he's actually pretty good. He's pretty good, this guy. He took it a step further. At halftime, we're walking into the locker rooms, and obviously all the players sort of convene in the same space, and Venezuela goes to the right, Brazil goes to the left. And he's getting in a shouting match with Neymar. And he's calling all sorts of things and names as if he's like, talking to Neymar was gonna get him off his game or some sort. And Neymar was looking at him as if like, who are you? Why are you talking to me? Go talk to your team, sort of thing. Hey, we tied 0-0, baby.
Hey.
We tied 0-0. He was right. He was right. We stopped Neymar. That day, anyways.
Was your manager Shaka Hislop?
Absolutely, of course, had to be.
Look at Neymar, he's nothing.
He's nothing.
All right, guys, is it worse to be on the bench?
Stevie, you're right. And Stevie, you're right. Hold on, let me just say, Stevie, Kay is trying to take over from Dan for Smarty Pants. I'm with you there, Stevie.
It's been building. It's been building up and building
Unreal.
up. No, it's
Unreal.
It's beginning to get its head
It has been building.
above the parapet now.
He's the king. I'm never going to take that role over.
Never called Dan Thomas the king.
I've been a smarty pants. He's the king.
No, but don't do that.
Never call
Kay.
him.
Don't do that.
Be yourself, Kate. Be yourself. He's not a good example, Dan. Don't take any notice of what Dan does. Just do your own thing.
This is the Robbo documentary. Robbo, is it worse to be on the bench when it's very hot or very cold?
It's worse to be on the bench when it's very cold. I mean, I've got to say, because when I first started playing, there was only 12 players playing. You had 11 on the pitch and 1 sub. And I wasn't subbed very often. I think it was only a couple of times in my career when I was young. And one of them was, I was 17, and we were playing at Sunderland. And anybody that is listening, Sunderland is a cold place. Windy, cold. Roker Park was a horrible place. And in those days, you didn't have the big tracksuits. You had to wear just a tracksuit top. You still had your shorts and socks on. I was praying that I never got on. I was absolutely rigid, frozen. It was a horrible experience, which I didn't want to have too many times.
Does anybody actually say very hot to that?
I hope
No.
No. Okay. No.
No. I told you the one I came on with 10 minutes to go for Ayr United, one of my first games. 10 minutes at Arbroath. And the stadium is by the North Sea. The actual stand across from where you sit has the North Sea 5 yards behind it. And I'm sat there, as Robbo said, with a pair of shorts and my boots and socks on. And I couldn't feel my feet. I'm running around, I couldn't feel my feet. Just horrendous.
You know, some idiots run into the North Sea on Boxing Day for fun.
Huh.
I did that once.
Oh, and there it is. And there it is.
That to myself.
And there it
I
is.
lost a bet. I lost a bet, but let me tell you, it
you know
was
how cold it is?
cold.
And what was the bet?
Well,
Stevie
it was a
went in
silly
and they
bet.
harpooned him.
It was a silly bet. It was a bet that if Middlesbrough beat Manchester United on penalties, because I didn't believe it would happen, that's what I'd do. And it was paying ode to Bernie Slaven.
No.
But he'd done something very different to running into the North Sea. When he'd said on the radio years before, if
he ran out.
Middlesbrough beat Manchester United, I'll show my backside
in the
the
window.
local department store window.
did as well.
Well, obviously, I'm not going to do that.
No.
So they asked me, what would you do? And I said, all right, I'll run into the North Sea on Boxing Day. And I did it.
Ben actually did
I
that.
beat them.
Why
No,
change
Ben
the
did
habits
it.
of a lifetime, Kate? Why change the habits of a lifetime?
Exactly, but Bernie did show his backside in the window.
The window.
Anyway, I'm going to stop there.
Yeah. Yes, please.
What else have you done?
No, it's just that he does show quite a lot of himself on his Instagram and Twitter pages.
I don't know where you're going with this, Kay.
That's all I'm saying. All right, Shaka, how did you prepare to face penalty kicks besides obviously in practice? Did you watch film of the other team or have a staff assistant give you stats on the opponents, or maybe no research at all and you just watched their body language before they shot?
You try to, and this is the thing. Back in those days, you didn't have the internet, you didn't have a whole lot of video footage, so you would just try to find out, where players generally went, and then you try to read the body language from there. So you had limited research, and read the body language. But in terms of penalty shootouts, and you see this time and time again. It's out of the 5, it's, well, say in international football, you have 1 or 2 who regularly take penalty kicks. The others, you just have no research on because they don't take penalty kicks. To the penalty shootout between Morocco and Spain, when last has Sergio Busquets taken a penalty for anybody, club or country? I'm not sure that you have a whole lot to go on in terms of prior research, so it really comes down to trying to read the player, trying to guess what their favorite side is, and get some cues from their body language.
Was Shaka partaking in shootouts in the 1950s? Was there no internet in 2006? Was there? Huh? Come on,
I didn't
Shaq.
go there, Shaka.
Come on, Shaq.
I retired in 2006. I retired in 2006.
Fine. Was there no internet in 2005, Shaq?
One penalty shoot.
What was that?
I faced one penalty
Was there internet?
shootout, so 2006. Before that, before 2006, the last penalty shootout I would have faced would have been probably around 2000, and I didn't have internet at that point.
Yeah.
Let's let it go, shall we?
Well, what about the FA Cup final? I'm just
Let
asking
it
the
go.
questions.
I was 2006. I was 2006.
Shaka, do you still agree with Stevie that I'm the smarty pants on set?
No, I'm just asking questions. I'm curious as to where Shaka lived in 2006 that had no internet.
But that was one. That was one penalty shootout, and I was speaking generally. And as I said, but before 2006, the last penalty shootout that I faced was probably around 2000. That's all I said.
Yeah.
And he said that he would least like to face you in a penalty shootout.
I don't know. Hey, Kay, I don't know why you're bringing this up, Kay.
Ali's trying to catch up with Kay.
No, not at all. I am concerned about Kay and
Ali's
her
trying to catch up
going
with
dipping
Kay,
in
that's
the
what it
North
is.
Sea. That's
Final question is for Robbo. Do you moisturize your head every night?
Oh, here we go.
See now, whoever asked the question obviously doesn't know the full answer. I have to moisturize my head every night and 3 times a day, because here's the warning. If you're bald, do not go out in the sun when you're on holiday. Do not go out in the sun when it's boiling hot, because you'll get marks on top of your head and they can prove dangerous. And I've had to have many moles and marks removed from my head, so I have to put moisturiser cream with factor 100 in it to protect my head.
There you go. There you go. I wonder what Frank LeBoeuf, who made it cool to be bald and acceptable and set the trend on shaving the whole head,
I
has
don't
to say
make it
about
cool
this.
to be bald.
Well,
then.
Frank LeBoeuf claimed on the show, Robbo, that he was the one who made it okay to be bald, basically, in France.
He basically said, I was sat here. Frank said he made it cool to be bald in France.
Okay.
He was the first.
He was the first to shave it all off.
There were no bald people before Frank.
Ever.
Oh.
But I wonder if he moisturises it as much as Robbo does. Listen, thank you so much for sending in your questions and your tweets today and for answering them all. And I'm really sorry, Shaka, for the way LA treated you during today's episode.
That's shifting blame, Kay.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.